Hi everybody and welcome to How to Sell on Amazon FBA for Beginners. Can somebody, just before we get started, just type in to say that they can hear me okay? Awesome. Angelo, thank you very much. Deborah, thank you very much. Okay, great guys. So welcome to How to Sell on Amazon FBA for Beginners. We're going to launch straight into it. Okay, so tonight's all about, I'll just move this over a bit so everyone can see. 6 steps to sell on Amazon FBA. We're going to hook into all of those. If you guys have any questions, please type them into the Q&A box. And I'll try and get through as many as I can. No promise I can get through all the questions tonight. We've got a lot of people on here tonight, but I'll do my best. Awesome. Okay, so 6 steps to selling on Amazon FBA. Tonight we're going to go through how to quickly find a high volume niche, which has got individual items that have sold greater than 1,000 times. We're going to find products in a niche that have the biggest opportunity. And the way we do this, it's all because our business is all run by VAs, virtual assistants. So everything that we do and everything I'm going to show you is done so the virtual assistants can do it quickly and without thinking, because we know that if they have to think, there's a greater than 50% chance they'll screw it up. So everything I'm going to show you tonight is the fastest way that we've managed to find so far in the last 20 odd years that we've been selling online. Also how to find wholesale suppliers for the same products, and how to find suppliers who will ship the items straight to Amazon FBA. Also, we're going to touch on how to list products and how to optimize and promote. So again, if you've got any questions, please type them into the Q&A tab and I'll get through as many as I can tonight. Okay, so the criteria, our criteria, and everyone's got their own criteria. This is our criteria for over 20 years. The businesses that we run, which is dropshipping, selling on Amazon, selling on eBay, and selling on our own websites, the businesses have to be totally virtual. We live on a farm, so our rules, which we've had for over 20 years, they must run totally by themselves. So we don't have to go out there, drive the post office to pick up inventory. None of that. We have no inventory and we have no staff on our property. Okay, so, and again, no guessing, because the VAs run the whole shebang, they have to have set rules. So there can be no guessing. We sell the same products on Amazon, eBay, and our websites. And it must be able to run 100% by itself for extended periods using software and VAs. I'll always try to go software first, and if there's no software that will do the task, then I'll go to VAs, which is virtual assistants. So yeah, my preference is always automate with software and then VAs. Okay, now it's all about one product, just like when you're doing drop shipping, whether you're doing FBA, whatever. It's all about learning how to find one product, how to list one product, optimize it and sell it. And then once you've learned how to do one product, it's all about doubling down. And I've been through this many times, or anyone's read my books, I go through this a lot. The difference between a small online business and a large one is simply how many proven items. People who've known me for a while would know I use a tree a lot, and the tree, I'm trying to use the laser pointer from doing seminars, which pre-COVID days. Each leaf is a product, and each product sells over and over because we're only doing new items. So each product sells over and over. So each product is like a leaf on a tree. It sells over and over and it keeps selling. So each product is like its own mini business because it keeps selling. So the more of these products you got, of course, the more money you put into your bank each week. And another way of looking at it is many streams make a river. But it really is just about learning how to research one item, how to list and optimize one item, and how to sell that one item, and then just double down. So for those who don't know who I am, basically my background is I used to import, we still do it, we've been importing now for over 30 years, but that's not my background. We live now on a farm. We originally came from Sydney. We started selling on eBay. Just the first thing I ever sold was a rusty old socket set, and started selling secondhand items, and then went full time back in 2005. And then it's just been like we've just been growing it ever since. So basically, we just like businesses that are fully automated, that allow us the lifestyle that we want to do, which is spend more time with the kids and not have to go out. Okay, cool, rock and roll. All right, so the slides from tonight are all available for download for free. The link here where you can download the slides for free, and I'll also send an email out afterwards. Amazon is still relatively new to Australia. Back in 2016, before Amazon was out here, I got a call from Amazon asking if I would do the roadshow around Australia with Amazon, which I did back in 2016, and they opened shortly after that. So that roadshow was about teaching people how to sell on Amazon, because back then Amazon Australia wasn't around, and we've been doing a lot on Amazon USA, and that's why I got the call and did the tour with Amazon, helping people to learn how to sell on the platform. So lots changed since then. Now there's 4 FBA warehouses around Australia. Back then, of course, there was 0. All right, so Amazon tour 2016, then Amazon opened its first fulfillment center in Australia in Dandenong in 2017. For those newbies out there, FBA Fulfillment by Amazon is obviously what it's short for, which means that you send your goods to Amazon, to one of their warehouses, and they fulfill it. So the awesome thing about that is they warehouse it, and when it sells, they pick and pack and ship it out. And they also do your customer service for you. They also take the money from the customers, because they've got, all the Amazon customers have got their credit cards on file with Amazon, so people on Amazon can just buy with one click. So typical Amazon warehouses, over 400 of these Amazon warehouses around the world. Okay, so our Amazon FBA criteria must be VA compatible, virtual assistant compatible. So no guessing, and fastest method, because time is money, because we're paying our VAs literally by the hour. So then, it's not huge money, because it's $1 to $2 an hour for most of the VAs. And I'll tell you about how to get them if you're wondering that as well tonight. But the longer they take to do something, time is money. So we're always trying to find what is the shortest way to achieve any result. So what I'm going to show you tonight is where we're up to currently with what we find to be the fastest way of doing all this. And it must be repeatable. So we don't want to have some, guru in there who's amazingly good at doing product research, but costs a ton of money. So everything has to be very scalable, very repeatable, and very much be able to cross-train our VAs so they can do each task. And that is so it can be fully automated. Because anyone's known me for a while, we build the businesses up a lot, and we sell them off as niche businesses all over the world. We've sold them many times in Australia, USA, Canada, UK, Spain, Ireland, and South Africa. South Africa was biz buy sell, wasn't eBay or Amazon, but that's what we do. Okay, so virtual assistants. If you're wondering where to find the virtual assistants, another free guide. So some things I won't go into tonight. I'll just give you, because some people know this stuff, some people won't, but I'll be giving you free links to all this stuff. So there's a free guide here showing you how you can get virtual assistants from $1 per hour. Okay, so step 1 is to quickly find a high volume niche. And there's many ways of doing this, but this is the way we do it. And our criteria, of course, again, is speed. It must be repeatable. There must be no guessing, and it must be very easy to outsource. Again, time is money. So in a perfect world, there will be research software that can instantly show you the top niches on Amazon and the top selling products. Now, there's a ton of software out there. Jungle Scout, eGrow, it goes on and on. But there's one constraint with all of them, and that is the Amazon API. For those who don't know what an API is, the API is how the software communicates with Amazon. Now, we're registered developers for Amazon and also registered developers for eBay. So we know, I've got my own team of programmers, we know all the limitations of what we can pull out, what we can extract out. So what we try to do is, when we know there's a limitation with one platform, we try to use other platforms to get the data that we want. So as it says here, Amazon Research Software uses the Amazon API, which can only give limited data. So how do you get around Amazon API limitations? Because the API can give us some great data for some stuff, but not so good for other things, as I'll show you tonight. But imagine this. Imagine if you could quickly find the top selling items in any niche. And this is one of the problems with the Amazon API limitations. But there's more than one way to crack an egg. Amazon, eBay, and website are different marketplaces, but what we've learned over the last 20 odd years is buyers purchase exactly the same items. So if we can't pull some data out of the Amazon API, we'll use another API. And it's the same with eBay and Google. So when I say Google for our websites, if we can't get some data out of Google then we can look at eBay and Amazon and see if we can get the data there. I'll show you more about what I mean. So for speed, we use Amazon, eBay, and website data to try to fill in the blanks of any missing data. And I say this because there's a lot of people out there, they focus only on one platform. They focus on just selling on their websites, say a Shopify store, or they just focus on eBay only and just use the eBay data, or they focus just on Amazon and just use the Amazon data. But if you look at all three, you can fill in so many more blanks, and you can also be a lot different to the people who just do one thing only. That's one we've learned a lot over the years. So tonight I'm going to be showing you the difference between the tools that we use for each marketplace. Okay, so step one, quickly find a high volume niche. A lot of people get bogged down with this stuff. You know, how to find a high volume niche. So many people get a bit bogged down with it. And this is how we can find a high volume niche really quickly, and anyone can. So with our VAs, we have this thing where we record our screens and we talk like we're talking to a 10-year-old. And literally, you know, I've got an 11-year-old. I've got 4 kids, but one of them's 11, and I guess she's quite insulted by that 10-year-old stuff, because what a 10-year-old can do these days is pretty huge. Not because she's any major huge guru. You know, she's smart, but I'm not saying that she's any smarter than the average Joe Blow. But what I'm saying is that you don't need a really super brainy person to figure out this stuff out. So no guessing. We use scarcitymanager.com to do this, and all you do is 2 things. You click the research tab at the top. Bingo, it shows you every single niche in eBay. And again, people on eBay, websites, and Amazon, they all buy the same thing. So there instantly shows you all the niches. Then you just choose one. So in this case, I'll choose coffee and tea makers, just as one. Click that, bang, next page. You can now see here the top selling items under this niche. So in this particular one, the top selling item is an electric milk frother, and as you can see, it sold 7,638 times. So bingo, we've got ourselves a niche, and now we can see a top item in this niche. Now it doesn't have to be the top one, it can be, you know, anything of these that's sold over 1,000 times. But let's just choose this one as an example. Now on the right, you can see in the blue the 12-digit number, because every item on eBay has a 12-digit number. Now, that's actually a hyperlink, which means you can click on it. If you click on that number, bingo, you're in eBay, and you can see exactly the same item, 7,638 sold, and you can actually see the exact same item. So now we've got a niche, now we've got a product. Now we're going to research this product and find the best milk frother that meets the criteria in Amazon. Following me along all right so far? Check on here. Yes, awesome, good stuff. Okay, so now I just touched on that, how to find a niche. That really is, but if you want to know more about it, there's another free guide on this thing. So all these links I'm going to give you, they're all free. All right, next, research this niche in Amazon. To do that, go to Amazon, whatever country we've got people from all different countries I can see tonight, including Germany and Holland, as well as Australia, USA. Matthew's asking, will this webinar be available as a replay? Yes, it will be available as a replay, yes. So go to Amazon, whatever country you're in, type in electric milk frother, and you'll see all the electric milk frother that comes up. Now, all those, which ones is the best? And of course, that's what we're going to get to now. I decided to use a clicker tonight from doing presentations because it was quieter than clicking with the mouse, but it doesn't seem to want to play. Okay, so find which products for the niche have the best opportunity, because that's what it's all about, the best opportunity. Now, you can either do this manually or use software. Of course, I'm a huge fan of software. If I can use software, I'm going to do that. But now, to do it manually, I'll just tell you what you need to do. Then I'm going to show you software which does it all automatically for you. Now, we only focus on listings which have a few competitors and they've got no more than 500 reviews, because Amazon's very much review driven. If you find a product's got 10,000 reviews, good luck trying to sell that item, because you're going to find it very, very hard to beat the person that's already selling it. So we don't want to focus on any items that have got more than 500 reviews. We want to search for non-optimized listings or products. We want to look at items that have poor reviews, because something with poor reviews is actually quite often a huge opportunity. Why has it got poor reviews? Has it got a bad manual? What is it? Because if you can fix that, if you can go back to the supplier and fix that issue, then you've got yourself a great product. Because when you list it up, you fixed it, which means you'll beat your competitor. You improve the product from product reviews. So also, has it got poor photos? Because if it is, you can improve the photos, and I'll show you some links tonight of how you can fix them yourself or how you can outsource them very cheaply to get fixed as well. Does it have less than 6 photos? If it does, again, another opportunity. Has it got bad ad copy? Because you can improve that. Has it got less than 5 bullet points? Because of course you can improve that. Does anybody sending it to Amazon FBA? Because with Amazon, you've got FBA and you've got FBM. FBM means you're going to ship it. FBM is short for Fulfillment by Merchant. FBA is Fulfillment by Amazon. If there's no one sent it to FBA, there's a huge opportunity, because when everything else is equal, Amazon will show listings that are in their warehouses over listings that are not in their warehouses. So if it's not in a Amazon warehouse, there's another opportunity there for you. So again, you can do this manually or you can use software. Now, software, there's tons of it out there. The one we use is eGrow. It's a Chrome extension, as I'll show you. So with eGrow, up in your top of your browser, it's a Chrome extension, so you'll get a little E come up there. And what happens is you click that E, bingo, you'll get this. Let me just move this around a bit so I can see a bit more. And what we want to focus on here is what we call the LQS. And this score is rated from 10 down. So we want to see things with a low score. I'll explain what this score is all about in a minute. Because things that got a low score are not very well optimized, which means you've got opportunity. The LQS is short for Listing Quality Score. It's out of 10, and we find items with low quality scores.